Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 7 and we will be reporting about the digital self. We will be delving into the topics of introduction to digital self, selective self presentation and impression management, impact of online interaction, private self versus public self, individual versus social identity, gender and sexuality online. So first, what is digital self? Digital self is the self that is constructed online. Constructed online means we create and present different versions of ourselves through the internet and social media. It is something that we create and present. So have you ever wondered, when did the concept of digital self emerge? The digital self emerged along with the growth of the internet and the digital communication. In the early stage 1970s to 1980s, there were bulletin board systems, online forums, and early computer networks. Here, people started using usernames and handles to represent themselves, which was an early form of constructing a digital identity. The rise of web in the year 1990s, the creation of the World Wide Web, personal web pages and chat rooms were created. So here, in this era, the term digital self started to take shape as people realized they could be anyone online. In this year, people started using usernames, but in that time, their usernames were just created like their favorite color at blue 2001 or the name of their dogs. They don't use usernames that are using personal informations. They do not use usernames that are like that. So in social media boom, year 2000s, platforms like Friendster, MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter were made. This made the digital self mainstream. So people began curating their profiles, photos, and posts to present themselves in specific ways. So in this time, people started posting. People created profiles with their pictures, their personal names, their personal informations, because these mentioned apps were created. So when we say people began curating their profiles, people began creating their profiles to present their selves in the social world. In the modern digital self, in the year 2010 to the present, it is where Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and LinkedIn emerge. So here, the digital self became multidimensional. When we say multidimensional, we present ourselves differently, separately, like how we have for example, we have our professional account, we have our personal account, we have an account for school, we have a creative account where we can post poems, songs that we created. So that is the concept of multidimensional self in the digital self. I mean, multidimensional persona in the digital self. So in the digital self, we have the personal identity and social identity. Personal identity is the identity that is in the real world, in our real world, our real identity. That is personal identity. It is not associated in the social media, but our personal identity can be posted, can be presented in the digital self. Yes, it can. And we have the social identity. So our social identity is the identity that we present online or in the digital world. So that's our posts, our shared posts, our photos that we share online, our events that we share. So that's our social identity, who we are in the online world. Next is the all in all, digital self refers to a person's online persona and identity, which may differ from the real world identity. So, as I have said earlier, we have the personal identity and social identity. But in the our digital self, our personal self can also be included in that. An individual's online identity is shaped by how they present themselves across various of social media platforms. An individual's online identity is shaped by how they present themselves across various websites and interactions. People often engage in selective self-presentation and impression management online in order to control how others perceive their digital self. It is important for one to find a balance between authentic self-representation and tactical impression management when it comes to constructing an online identity. People create and present versions of ourselves through the internet and social media. Unlike face-to-face interactions where your appearance, voice, and behaviors are seen directly, online platforms allows you to shape, filter, and manage how others perceive you. It means that our online identity is something we actively build, shape, and perform rather than something that is simply existing. So our digital self is something that we create, something we choose to show, we choose to present to others in the digital world. And that would be all from my part. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'll be discussing the three domains of the self, which are family, school, and neighborhood or community. So, first we have is the family. Our family is the first source of our identity and values. It is where we first learn who we are and what is right or wrong. Our parents and relatives strongly influence our self concept, especially during our childhood years. So, we all know that kanang ang parents jud nato is mo na ang mo tudlo nato, mo guide o unsa pa man. So, mo nang mako jud og epekto nato ng kanang unsa ta pagtudo sa ato ang parents or kanang family para o kanang unsay na learn nimo nila murag na-adapt daw pod nimo sa imong self unya nadani mo na sa karon nga self nimo. So muna ang family is actually a critical role nga gi-play sa ato ang mga children. So ayon na sa school, which is nagplay pud na siya og kanang big role in shaping our social and personal growth. It is where we learn to interact with others and develop confidence, skills, and self-concept. Our teachers and classmates helps us discover our strengths and weaknesses. So, kanitang during bito sa pagstay nimo ng school. So, kaning life nato is mako jud ta og kanang years nga gilaan kintahay sa ato ang school kay eskwela ka og daycare, eskwela preschool, eskwela elementary, high school, then senior high, tapos college. So during that years, daghang kay kag years nga nakag inside school, maka-learn jud ka og kanang how to interact with other people, um makakuan po ka og mga skills nimo, ma-discover nimo ng mga skills ug kanang mga strength ug weaknesses nimo. Mao nang kuan makusad siya og i-play nga role kay makusad siya epekto nato as a students. So lastly is the neighborhood or community. It is the environment outside our home and school where we interact with other people such as neighbors, friends, and local groups. This domain helps us build our social identity and sense of belongingness because it connects us to a larger group beyond our family. Through the community, we learn about our culture, our traditions, and the social norms, like respects for others, cooperation, and helping those in need. It also encourages social responsibility, which means becoming aware of how our actions affect others. So, for example, joining community activities like clean-up drives or festivals helps us feel part of something bigger. Second is helping a neighbor or volunteering teaches us kindness and empathy towards the other people, towards our community. And seeing role models in our community inspires us to set goals and contribute positively to society. So, those three are the examples for the neighborhood or community. So, neighborhood or the community is what makes us feel like belong ta nila. Like, muna kuan apil-apil ka og kanang mga event such as kanang kintay sa barangay ninyo liga mo na example na is kanang liga kanang nakita mga pageant pud ana kanang mo support ka na is for example na sa being part of that community nga na. Then if kuan kanang mo attend ka og kanang mga youth nga program, so it is somewhat your responsibility to attend that because as a part of that certain community you have to attend that for being kanang para ma-recognize ka. And dili man sad na siya lisod buhaton kay daghan man sad og mga tao nga pwede nimo na makastorya like even joining that event na kay makaila pud nimo since isa naman pud mga lugar manang dili sad siya kayo lisod makipag-interact with other people. So next, I'll be explaining the 4 characteristics of the digital self. This describes how we present and manage ourselves in the online world. So, mo ni aga nang unsay ipakita nato sa Facebook, Kintay, kanang mga online media platforms. So first, we have the oriented inward. So this focuses on our internal thoughts and feelings that others cannot directly see. So for example, ane is kanang nay isa ka tawo kintay nga kaila nimo gi-post sa Facebook o kanang happy daw kuno kayo siya that day. Pero wala gyud ta kahibaw og unsa gyud na feel niya kay ang iya naman yung issue sa Facebook is kanang feeling happy siya anang adlawa. Unsa kanang ilang gi-post is because their online self is controlled but what they post. So kadtong gi-represent niya nga happy siya. Kontrolado to siya sa iyang online self ra. Ag yang katong self jud niya, yung kaugalingon jud, wala jud ta kay bawod say na feel niya adtong time. So next is the narrative in nature. This means that users create stories or versions of themselves online. People often post things that show what they want others to believe about them, like achievements, hobbies, or interests. In other words, we build our own digital story through what we share. And the third one is retractable. Our digital self can be edited, changed, or deleted anytime because we can modify our post online. Kaya pwede na to siya editon or pwede gali na to na i-archive. Kaya mga post mo, pwede naman na ma-archive. So, munang retractable ang digital self because pwede na to mabawi ug unsa ato ang gipang share. And lastly, we have multipliable. This means a person can interact in different ways on multiple platforms. So, for example, sa Facebook is ang mag-represent sa myself adto is low-key ka kay wala kay mga photos nga gipang post adto or kadang gipang share nga quotes kintahay. Then sa IG, sa Instagram. So for example, sa Instagram nimo is kanang very fashionista kay kadto, very aesthetic kay kag mga photos adto like pang model ang datingan. Anya sa TikTok ang mga pakita nga sa imong kaugalingon adto is dancer kintahay ka, singer kintahay kadto, kay kag kanang post adto kuan sad kanang sinisig live adto. So in those different platforms makaingon jud ta og multipliable because lahi-lahi nga personality ang ato ang gipakita adto. Facebook, low-key, IG, fashionista, and aesthetic. Sa TikTok is kanang funny dancerist ug sa paman. Ano multipliable siya. So, in short, our digital self is a version of who we are online, shaped by what we share, how we tell our story, and how we manage our image across different platforms. So, that's all. Thank you.
Selective self-presentation and impression management. Self-presentation behavior is any behavior intended to create, modify, or maintain an impression of ourselves in the minds of others. It's basically how you show yourself to other people. It's all the things that you do to create a certain image or impression in their minds. So, example kay sa job interview, like you will dress kanang professionally and speak politely and highlight your skills and imong accomplishments. So, that is self-presentation in action. You're trying to present yourself as a competent and capable candidate. Muna ang self-presentation. Next is, why do people engage in self-presentation? First is facilitate social interaction. It helps us get along with others and navigate social interaction more smoothly. Next is maintain relationship. It allows us to form connection and strengthen bonds with people we care about. Next is construct desired identities. It gives us the opportunity to shape how we see ourselves and how others see us. Social media platforms are useful social browsing, social searching, communication, and impression management. Social browsing is checking out other people's profile to see how they present themselves. Next is social searching, looking up information about people to form opinions and impression. Communication is interacting with others and shaping their perception of us through our posts, comments, and messages. Then impression management. It's about consciously crafting our online presence to create a desired image. Next is impression management. Impression management is the attempt to control or influence any other people's perception. This could be their perception of a certain person, or it could include you, a material possession, or even an event. So there are two motives of attempting to manage the impression of others. First is instrumental. This is basically gaining rewards and increase one's self-esteem. This is when people want to get rewards or feel better about themselves. So for example, kanang when people act in a way that makes others like them, then or it's like trying to get something good by showing a positive image. Expressive motives is about attempting to be in control in one personal behavior and identity. They want to be seen different from what others expected, maybe to show their true identity or personality. Then, our 5 strategies in impressions management. Self-promotion is a proactive process in which a person actively says things or take action to show his or her competence to an audience. It's like talking about your skills, achievement, or good qualities so people see you as capable, like job interviews, and often used to get noticed at work or in a social situation. Next is ingratitude. Ingratitude is the process by which someone tries to win the approval or acceptance of another. It's like being friendly, polite, or flattering to make people like you and build a good relationship. Example, Nikay, when a woman wants to get her mother-in-law to like her, she might kiss up or get her by giving her compliments or gifts. May also try to make herself appear more similar to her mother-in-law, since people tend to like others with similar values and interests. Next is exemplification. Involve a strategic self-sacrifice so that observer may recognize the dedication. It's about showing hard work, honestly, and a strong value so that others see you as a responsible and admirable. Next is intimidation, a strategy that involves showing of authority, power, or potential to punish in order to be seen by observer as someone who could be or is dangerous. It's acting strong or threatening to make people respect or fear you. Next is supplication. It's an approach where the individual exploit his or her weaknesses or shortcoming to receive help or benefits. So it's about acting needy or weak to get help, support, or empathy from others. The difference between self-presentation and impression management. Presentation is how you act or present yourself to shape your image, while ang impression management is ways of controlling how others see you. So that's all.
So, good day everyone. I am one of the reporter from Group 7 and my name is Maria Fatima Samonte. Okay, let's go to my report. So, first is this. Okay, so, first is kaning impact of online interaction on the self. So,
Kanay first bullet is that significantly affected social relationship and participation in offline community life. So it means na kanang too much kanang use of internet, too much use of social media app is kanang maka-lessen siya sa kanang imong interaction sa may katawo. Maka-weaken din siya sa imong relationship. For example, is kanang tigpangaon. Unya kanang tanan man jud is mostly na nay cellphone so sa imong pamilya. Then imbis nga kanang tingkaon is more time nga magdungan mo is dili na kay kanang murag babad naman sa cellphone, then mas piliyon man ang cellphone kaysa makadungan og kaon na imong pamilya. Unlike sa kanang sa una nga dungan jud kay dili pa man kaayo kuha ng paggamit sa cellphone. So that's it. Next is kaning undermine subjective perception of well-being and life satisfaction. Ani is kanang excessive kanang online activity bitaw, like kanang social media comparison, for example, kanang mag-scroll ka, then kanang makakita ka hala nito ta man akong friend kay kanang ni graduate naman kanang ni man sila ani nga country ni kanang na-achieve ni nga ni, so kanang di ba naiuban nga kanang mag-post o kanang achievements sa Facebook nila kay kanang lagi nice pampuna nga niya ang sa katong ni-view nga tao is kanang mga nabito siya mo start na niya think nga kanang hala kanang dili lagi nga niya akong life kanang hala kanang nang akong life kay kon lagi not good as not good as other people nga ingon ana, so something like that nga na ilang ma-think if kanang over use sa kanang social media nga halos bisag kanang imong life kay kanang imo nang i-compare bitaw, yeah, like that. Next is lead to incorrect conclusion regarding physical appearance, educational level, intelligence, and moral integrity. So kanang for example kaning mga online profiles can give impression, yeah, and kay kanang kon manggod ang mga tao kay kanang so for example is kanang nay kanang tao nga mag-post og something kanang mga advanced vocabulary, mga posting, something like that. So kanang sa tao nga gabasa nga kanang educated ni siya, hala kanang how kayo ni siya ma-English ba, siguro bright siguro ni siya kaayo, pero kato di yung gipost is from AI, kato di yung gipost is kanang mga copy ra, so that's it. For example anis kanang mga tao nga kanang mag-post like kanang mga edit bitaw samot karon nga makailad na ang mga AI, so kanang murag kanang highly edited photos, so kanang ang magtanaw is mag-assume nga kanang hala dato siguro ni siya ba, kwartaan siguro ni siya ba, so mga nga nahuna sa mga viewers, so man lead to incorrect conclusion. That's it. Next bullet is online communication with friends and family done on SNS, or SNS means kanang social networking sites, is actually associated with a decline in depression. So for this is kanang magamit na bitag social media kanang para mo-interact ka sa imong family, sa imong mga loved ones, kanang maka-reduce yun siya kanang feeling of depression, excuse me, kanang feeling of kanang kamingaw, anak nila tawhana. So for example is kanang messenger, kanang magtawag mo, tingali, na-eskwela ka sa layo, then imong mama is ganun, buwag mo sa imong pamilya ba, so through messenger, through video call is kanang makita na mo, magka-interact mo, so malas-less ang kamingong imong nabati nga layo kanila. So that's it. So this is katong one positive impact of online interaction. So dili ra puro negative, and we can't deny jud kana kay tinuod bansad. Then next bullet is cause or at least promote narcissistic behavior. So meaning is that social media can encourage self-centered behavior because people constantly kana makadawat og mga likes, makadawat og mga praise, mga attention, comments nga samot na kanang tingali mag-post kag mga selfie karadlaw sa mga may story baron nimo sa Insta, sa Facebook, and so on is tapos makaget ka og kanang daghan og likes, daghan og reaction, daghan og comments, so mabilib kang kanang superior bitaw ka sa lain. It is because kanang gi-admire ka mostly, then kanang mag-crave na ka og kanang admiration, tapos kanang and masuko na ka if kanang when a post doesn't perform well, kay tingali na kay post nga kon pero dili kayo click sa kung unsa bitaw ang gusto sa imong or unsa ang kanang kuan sa imong mga viewers, so masuko na ka. So kay kanang naanad lagi ka nga kanang kanunay sila mo like, kanunay mo heart sa imong mga posting sa any social account. So that's it. Next is Facebook use enhance self-esteem or self-esteem. So hyper kanang meaning kaning aning hyper personal model is this is people can present a careful edited version of themselves online. Yes, tinuod jud na. When others respond positively to this polished self-presentation, it boosts self-esteem. So kanang tingali ni post ka ug mao ni imong gusto nga kanang edited baron or kanang katulagin ko kung gingon nga idealized version sa myself, then kanang ang mga viewers kay ni respond positively, so ma-boost imong self-esteem. So it is kanang one po ni siya sa kanang na part nga positive sad siya, yeah, kay kanang maka-help mo po ni siya nga mo grow ka, then maka-kuan ka kanang mo-boost imong self-esteem. So, for example, a shy student creates a Facebook post showing their achievements. O nga na, tapos, diba, if nga nila mag-post kayo, comment na congrats, kanang, lagi ka, labert ka, so something nga na. So, mag-boost din mo confidence and kanang, mas, kanang makalearn ka nga, bisag shy student ka, makalearn ka kanang, face-to-face interaction na, normally, sa kanang mga tao sa imong palibot. So, that's it. Next is kaning neglect some aspect of their social functioning. So, kani is kanang like sa first bullet man siguro to yang kanang people who spend too much time online may ignore important real-life responsibilities, interaction, and social skills. So, kanang for example, kanang a student, kanang spend too much time sa kanang pag-scroll sa TikTok, sa pag kanang scroll sa Facebook, pag tanaw sa mga reels, is that makalimot bitaw ta sa atong responsibility as a student, makalimot ta sa atong homework, kanang makalimot ta nga naa tay deadline karon kisa sige ra matag cellphone. So mo weaker ang atong kanang function sa real life situation. So, that's it. Next is, okay, sorry. Wait. Next is, next kay kaning. Kaning. In addition, some chronic users who have suddenly stopped online social networking, like kanang lack of internet connection, have been observed to display signs and symptoms that at least partially resemble the ones seen during drug, alcohol, nicotine abstinence syndrome. Yeah. So, for here is that ang mga tao nga mga ni bitang reaction is kanang nahitabo ni because ang ilang huno-huno og ilang body are used to constant online stimulation, attention, and connection. So, mura na po siya kanang duol-duol siya sa kanilang symptoms sa mga tao nga kanang nga symptoms nga nakita during drug, alcohol, nicotine abstinence syndrome. Kay mura siya addiction na sad ba? Kay samot if kanang walay internet nga adik kag cellphone, so saputon ka nga so mo nito i-discuss mo ni kaning examples of kanang symptoms. So first is kaning anxiety. So, feeling nervous, uneasy, or worried because they cannot go online. Kana tingaling babad kay ka sa social media, tapos kanang nawa ang internet connection, tingaling naputo ang linya sa Converge ngana or hinay signal ngana hangtod mag-worry ka kanang hala, what if na announcement sa G-class, what if kanang nay man important messages nga ako ma-miss, so what if kanang naay kanang ni comment sa akong kuan, so daghang what if hangtod sa saputon ka, hangtod sa nervous ka, hangtod sa ma-worry ka. So that's it. Next is restlessness. So restlessness is being unable to sit still, feeling a strong urge to check social media even though it's not possible. So example is that someone keeps picking up their phone every minute even though they know there's no wifi or data. Ngay di ba tanga ka nang samot taga nang watay lingaw, watay gibuhat maglingkod ta, tapos bisag boy wifi, bisag boy signal anang lugara, magsige gapon kag kuan sa imong cellphone, bisag ngana kariyot, dahon na pod nya balik na pod cellphone kariyot, dahon na pod. So ngana they tap apps repeatedly out of habit and feel uncomfortable when they can't check updates. So ngani ko sahay samot na og kanang tingali na sa series, tapos gadagan man na. So ang signal is putol-putol, tapos okay ba ngano nga bisag way rason, bisag way ka ng signal, way data, way nga na bisag unsa pa magsiga pag cellphone bisag okay ba sa ang tuyo. So that's restlessness. Next is irritability. So sapoton, becoming easily annoyed or short-tempered when they cannot access social networking sites. Kani tingali kanang dili na ka masuko sa matag kanang dili ka maka basta sa putong na ka tungod kay kanang tingali kanang wifi niya sabayan pa jud tingali na mga tanan nimo baron, or kanang basta dali na ka ma-frustrates bisag over small things jud, kay kanang tingali dili ka ka-reply sa mga messages, kay kanang walay connection, yeah, like that. That's irritability sa puton. Dali sa puton di ay. Next is insomnia, is kaning maglisod kag to, yeah, sa matag kanang naanad ka nga kanang sigig ka ng TikTok, scroll sa TikTok karang gabi tapos kanang one night kay nahut lang nagload inyong wifi, so maglisod kag to kay naanad magka nga tagalas 11, tagalas 12 na mato, kay lagi babad sa cellphone. So mao na. Headaches, kani maglabad imong ulo kay kanang too much use, excessive use on sa internet, kaya babad kaayo sa cellphone. Next is poor concentration, so difficulty focusing on task because their mind keeps drifting to thoughts about social media. So kanang dili ka makakonsentrate kay kanang tingali kanang klase na ka, tapos mag-uhay pa mo chat sa imong friend, tingali ka ng chika na la friend na kanang naku chika ni mga nga, tapos ikaw nga klase dili madyo ka pwede mag-cellphone kay unsa man nimo pagpaminaw sa imong sir, sa imong teacher. So kanang wala kang kanang hala basi unsa nagkatuyang ko unsa nagkatuyang reply unsa kay chika ha, sa kay kanang nga, so dili ka makakonsentrate. It is because of that. Next is depression. So feeling sad, empty, or down because they are not receiving their usual social interaction, validation, or distraction from social networking sites. Like example, someone who relies on online chats and notification to feel connected suddenly loses internet access. So kani tingali is kanang bali ba murag nagsaligra bitaw kasi mga ka-chat, nagsaligra ka sa online interaction, sa mga notification, kay ani nga ma-feel ani nga way is ma-feel nimo nga connected ka, then mahurot ra ang imong internet access, mawa imong internet access, mahurot imong load. So you start feeling lonely, bored, and sad because they no longer have that constant interaction. That's it. Next is social isolation, kani feeling alone or disconnected from others when they can't access their online social groups or communities. Kan tingali if kanang sige dyan mo interact sa mga friends online, tapos kanang mawa na po ng internet connection, so wala ra, ma-feel lang nimo nga kanang kuan, kanang alone na ka diretso, feel nimo nga wala na kay friend, nga na disconnect na kanila, even though wala ra kay internet connection, so something nga na making them feel isolated. Yeah, that's social isolation. Next is like this. Maone katong anxiety, depression, irritability, lack of concentration, then stress. Tungod sa kana social media kanang usage. That's it. Next is what makes us so addicted? What makes us so addicted? So, like, aning naasa, naka-show is kaning rat trap kana. Diba, if kani sila magkakita og cheese kay ilang kwaon, din man ang matrap sila ana. So, malakpan. And sa human is kanang kansam ni chat GPT. So, sa human is kanang makuan, kanang naay certain app, social media app nga kanang makot sa atong attention, then kanang wala addict na ani na magpundo halos katunga sa adlaw sa matagway klase, wala na mabuhat nga trabaho kay gasige na og cellphone, gasige na TikTok nga. So social networks have the power to amplify this human nature. Tinuod. So social networks tap into basic human needs like connection, identity, attention, and belonging. Because these needs are powerful, social networks easily amplify them and keep us coming back. So, because of social networks, like kaning naka-bold nga kuan, kaning broken the barriers of distance. Tungod sa kanang mga social networking sites is that pwede na maka-communicate virtually ang mga tao. So, isa ni sa rason, isa ni sa nakatabang. And time. Yeah. Asa ka na loading. Yeah, and time. So, you can talk to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Instantly. Dali ra kayo. Basta naa lang kay connection, basta naa lang kay signal, go na. Tapos, maunang ang tao, isa sa rason nga numaadik ang tao. Am I right? Yes. So, next is kaning, they have broken the barriers of presence and visibility. So, you don't need to be physically present para ma-communicate or be seen by others. You just need to online, video calls, like that. Next is kaning, they expand the possibilities of sharing and playing identities. People can show different versions of themselves online. It is true. Choosing how they look, what they share, and how they present their personality. So, a shy student in real life can appear confident and funny online. So, yeah. Next is, they fulfill the deeply felt human need for psychological distinctiveness and self-definition. Yeah. Humans want to feel unique, recognized, and understood. So, social media gives them a space to express who they are. So, pwede ka. Ang social media is, dili ba kalimitan kung unsay mong mga post about sa mong life. Bisan pag-abot sa mong, pwede about sa mong hobbies, talents, imong mga music taste, imong dance moves, imong beliefs. Tapos, maka-receive ka, o tapos i-post nimo because you feel confident enough. Then, i-post nimo, then makadawat ka o nga kanang comment ka, hala, how does mo sayo, uy, so, hinihinay o ka-fulfill ang imong mga needs. Sa mata kanang appreciation, need na kanang ma-appreciate sa uban kung unsa imong mga talent baron. So, social media, naka-help nga aspect sa kanang life sa tao. So, that is, katong mga some examples or some reasons why people make ay why ka nang maka-addict ang social media, social networks. That's it. Ay, for example, kana tingaling online shopping, kana maka-addict jud na, maka-trap jud na kay bisan og wala kay kwarta, bisan og kana napapangitaan man nagpay kay dili pa man moabot diretso karon dayon. So mo order ko ani kay kanang makuha ni kanang mabayaran pa nako kay matiguman nig mga 5 days kana nga na. So mao to ma-addict and addicted. That's it.
Every person has the two sides of themselves. The first one is the public self and the private self. The public self is the version of you that the world sees. It is how you act, you speak, and your behavior in front of the other people, such as your friends, your classmates, your family, and even the people online. When you show your public self, you might try to look confident, polite, or friendly because you want others to have a good impression of you. Sometimes, people act differently in public to fit in or to be accepted by others. Meanwhile, the private self is the version of you that no one or only a few people get to see. It is who you really are deep inside. It is your thoughts, your feelings, your emotion, your fears, and even your desires. This is the you. When you're alone in your room, when you think about your dreams, or when you write in your diary, that's your private self. Your private self may not always match what others see in public because you might hide some parts of yourself to protect your feelings or avoid being judged. Let me give you an example. Example of the public self. For example, there is a student named Anna. In school, Anna always looked cheerful, confident, and talkative. That is her public self. However, whenever she goes home, she sometimes feels insecure or tired, but she doesn't show that side to others. That's her private self. So, in short, your public self is the face you show to the world, while your private self is the real person you are when no one is watching. Both are parts of who you are, and it's normal for them to be different sometimes. Now let's move on to the individual identity versus your social identity. A person's identity can also be divided into two parts. It is the individual identity and your social identity. Now, first and foremost, let us discuss what is individual identity. Your individual identity it is what makes you unique to other people. Kani siyang individual identity man may mga characteristics nimo nga wala sa uban. Kung unsa naa nimo nga magpahimo nga unique nimo nga wala sa lain. Gets? It is made up of personal perspective, your characteristics, your personality, your talents, your values, and even your dreams and likes. It is what defines you as you. Even when you're alone, for example, being kind, artistic, hardworking, or independent are parts of your individual identity. It is about how you see yourself and what makes you different from others. On the other hand, your social identity is formed through connection with other people and the groups you belong to. It is about who you are in relation to society. This includes being part of a certain nationality, religion, gender, school, organization, sports team, or even a friend group. Your social identity helps you feel sense of belonging and acceptance among people who share the same background or interests. So, kanang social identity nimo is mo ni ang imuhang personality nagdepende kung unsa nga grupo ka nga nabilong. Like for example, imong nationality is Filipino. So, you have the social identity as like resilience. Your resilience kay pasam kadung ta Filipino resilience diba ta? So that's your social identity. It is depend kung unsa ka nga group na belong. Like for example, if imuhang friend group is like mga batak mag-study and mga hilumon. So at that moment, your social identity is like magpahilom po ka, like magtuon sad ka kay mo ana man mo ma-feel nga belong ka if makisabay ka kung unsa ang naa nga group, di ba? Like now, like for example, me, I describe myself as a creative, shy, and curious, but those are parts of my individual identity. But I am also a Filipino, a student at CTS Elementary School and a member of the school choir. Those are parts of my social identity. So to put it simply, individual identity is what makes you different, while social identity is what connects you to other people. Ang individual identity kung unsa ang naa nimo nga wala sa uban man ang matawag nga unique. While the social identity, it is mo niyang mga butang or magipanghimo nimo nga para mo connect ka sa other people, nga ma-relate ka nila, nga maka-feel ka nga belong ka ana nga group. It is it. Both work together to form your complete sense of self. Like to summarize it all, public self versus the private self, it is how you act in front of other versus who you really are inside. Well, the individual identity versus social identity, it is what makes you personally unique versus what makes you part of a group or a community.
And we'll go through the gender and sexuality online. Okay. So, for this one, gender and sexuality online. So, gender stereotype. So, the use of stereotype is a manner in which people simplify the social world. So, ato ra ni explain it. So, gender stereotype is it is a belief na kanang all men or all women behave in a certain way, kanang same have the same abilities or should follow certain rules, kanang just because of their gender. So kaning ani bitaw tingali kanang kaya ang pag-stereotype daw is kanang it helps them simplify the world. Kaya tingali mag-assume ang God when we say stereotyping, it is simply assuming nga kanang isa ka person is kanang iyang characteristic is kanang ma-apply bitaw siya sa entire group kung asa siya na belong. Yeah, for example is kanang mga na kanang if na isa ka makita na if na isa ka woman nga kanang emotional, and then idi ma-refer na sa uban nga kanang mag-assume na ang uban nga kanang tanang bae ka emotional. Yeah, that's it. Tapos, for example, kaning, or if one man is good at fixing things, laki ha, then, imo na pong, kanang, i-assume nga kanang, ang tanang laki, kaya ba mag-ayo-ayo. So, bisag dili gutanan, pero mo, dyan ay kwan sa tao. So, this is wrong because individuals are different, yes, even within the same group. So, how stereotyping leads to social categorization, like, kaning stereotyping leads to social categorization, which is one of the reasons for prejudiced attitudes. Like kaning social categorization means kanang dividing people into groups, like them and us mentality. When we say us, it is us, me, my group. So if it is kaning them is kanang ang other group, us is my group, and them is the other group. So this separation can lead to prejudice, negative judgments, because whatever ta gitreat nga kanang my group or our group is better than ato nga group, than their group. So that's it. Our group better and judge their group unfairly, and judge their group katong them bitaw nga kuan kaning the other group unfairly. Murag i-judge ra ba? So if someone believes men are leaders and women are followers, they might kanang tingali. Kaning isa ka tao is mag-prefer siya nga, prefer may tingali laki siya. then kay laki man siya. So he will prefer male leaders, favoring nga kanang the katong sa social categorization bitaw nga us mentality. So kay laki man ko, mas prefer ko nga ang laki ang leader. So tapos on the other hand is kanang i-doubt bitaw niya ang ability sa kanang bae. It is because bae ra siya, katong kaning them mentality is kaning them nga group, kanang the other group. So kay bae man ang other group, so kanang iyang dudahan nga kanang wala kanang ko ani kanang weak ni ang kanang dudahan niya ang ability nga ang ability sa bae nga mulid without any valid and real reason. So that's it. This creates unfair attitudes for no valid reason. So to social categorization mo to, us and them mentality. Us is us. So di ba if kita maingon is it is subjective, so it is my group. Them is the other group. Next is adolescent sexuality. So sexuality as a developmental issue is present throughout the life cycle, but it becomes especially salient during adolescence. So adolescents have to adjust to their developing sexuality, in particular, increase sexual drive, interest in sex, and the task of constructing their sexual life. So sexuality is part of human development for the entire lifespan, pero it becomes kanang important bitaw during adolescence. Kay aning sa stage mo gud sa adolescence is that daghan og ma-experience nga changes ang mga teens, ang mga teenager, para aning first is kaning stronger sexual drive. It is true. Kaning next is kaning more interest in sex and relationship. Next is the need to understand who they are as a sexual person. So mo arise ni aniya nga stage sa adolescent stage sa usa ka tao. So in other words, adolescence is a time when young people begin figuring out their sexual identity, feelings, boundaries, and values. So let's go to the factors that affect an adolescent sexuality. First is kanang hormones na kanang hormones nga i-release nato during atong puberty. So like estrogen and testosterone. So increase sexual feelings and curiosity. So for example, sa adolescent age is that a teenage boy or girl may start having crushes. So ayan na magsugod ang crush, not just happy crush, but kanang crushes more intensely or begin feeling sexual attraction because kay ang hormones mo ganito ani kay mas ma-active na siya ani nga edad. Next is personality or temperament. So each teen's personality affects how they handle their developing sexuality. So for example, kaning if shy ka nga pagkatao, kana you might keep your feelings private tapos dili ni may tugan imuha ra jud. If kana curious and outgoing ka nga teen, mas gustuhan nimo nga i-explore ka mga relationship earlier kaysa sa uban. So it is because ngani ka nga type sa person, ngani imong personality. Next is kining precocious teen. So may take longer to become interested in intimacy. So kaning if ani is kaning if kanang cautious teen ka or cautious teenager is that it will take longer time kaysa sa uban nga for you to become interested when we talk about intimacy or relationship. So personality shapes how comfortable they feel when expressing attraction or setting boundaries. Naman noon. Next is social or environmental factors. So kaning social or environmental factors is kaning culture, religion, and school. Influences siya on how we think about relationship and sexuality. So example is kanang ang mga kanang gikan ka sa pamilya nga open to talk about, openly communicate about healthy relationship. So maka-help ni siya nga the teen may feel comfortable asking questions, especially sa kanang mga Then kaning peer pressure from friends. So kanang samot ani ma-pressure kasi mga friend tingali nga i-push bitaw ka nga mag-date nga mag-uyab og sayo na medyo nga ni jud nga mga friend kay kanang murag ma-feel jud kani mo kanang ma-feel mo nga lain naman ni uy kanang murag mag itud ko sa mga butang nga di na ko gusto nga sa mga butang nga dili pa ko ready ato bangon. So maka-pressure din siya. So environment plays a big role in shaping sexual values and decisions. Last one is media and the internet. So teens often learn about learn about sex or kana mga relationship ideas from TV, movies, social media and online content, sometimes accurate, sometimes and mostly is dili. So kaning nabita sa mga social media nga kanang may mga posting ay na mag-post na kanang mag-uyab tapos ikaw nga gatan-aw is kanang nangisi silang duha apil na po gagangisi so tulo naman nangisi so ang una nimo is kanang social media post may make relationships look perfect, diba? Makita nimo hala uy kanang happy lagi ni sila, hala uy perfect lagi ni sila, makasuyo lagi ni sila, unta nga ni ko makauyab nga na even though wala kay ba unsa ang likod ana sa ilang gipakita sa social media. So maka-influence ng this social media post about relationship kana may influence how teenager expect kung unsa ang love. So influencing how teens expect kana unsa ang gugma or nga ni day ang higugmaan or something nga na about gugma. So murag ma-vision nila nga mauni kana perfect example sa relationship. Yeah, that's it. So, another example is that online content might expose them to sexual topics before they are emotionally ready. Next is healthy educational content. Kanang example ani kanang trusted website should bitaw can teach about safe boundaries and consent. So, media can both help and confuse adolescents about sexuality. Naiter ma-confuse kay na may uban kay para nato sakto pero murag sa uban dili. So something na ba? Like sa akong gingon, sometimes ang mga content is sometimes accurate, sometimes are not. So, adolescent sexuality is about more than sexual activity. Yeah, it also includes itong feelings, identity, attraction, boundaries, and values. And this these are shaped by kaning biological, personal, social, and media influences. Yeah. Next is social or environmental factors that facilitate sexual learning and decide the sexual attitude of the adolescents. They include the following. So adolescents learn about sexuality not only from their own bodies and feelings but also sa kanang mga people and environment around nila. And these social environmental factors strongly influence how they think, how they feel, how they behave, how they act regarding relationships and sexuality. So mao ni ang mga factors nga kanang lagi mo ni mga factors kanang upat ka buok nga maka shape silang attitude sila kanang nga maka shape sila adolescent sexual attitude. First is the attitude of parents towards sexuality. So kaning how parents talk about love, talk about relationship, talk about boundaries is maka-affect sa belief po sa ilang mga anak. So example is may mga parents nga open and positive. So ma-explain sila about nga ng mga butang about healthy boundaries, help teens develop responsible attitude. It is because open man sila. So mas aware ang mga teens nga ni di ay. So if mga parents na strict or avoidant, parents who never discuss sexuality may make teens feel shame or fear. Tingali na curious tingali ang yang anak about topic nga related to relationship, to sexuality, chuchu nga na so nya mas mudiak mukalit og kasuko ang imong mama baron or papa. So man sila nga, hala kanang mali siguro ako na question, dili na ako ma-question ni balik kay kanang masuko man akong papa. So something ana. Next is parenting style, like kaning koan. Kung gibutang ada is kaning nasa picture, kaning attachment, authoritarian, authoritative, permissive. Mani mga different parenting styles. So it is the way parents raise and guide their children. Greatly influence, yeah. Ka-influence jud ang atong family sa kay sila man atong koan kanang first ay sukad pagmata family na atong magdako kanay mong family. So especially parents manang kanang big contributor jud sila sa development sa usa ka tawo sa tanang aspect sa life. So yeah, katong the way the parents raise their children influences the teens' behavior and views on sexuality. Mga to katong upat ka parenting style. Next is pair relationship. So means ay kanang friends strongly influence how a teen thinks about dating, attraction, and relationships. So, if tingali na kay circle of friends nga kanang openly and responsibly talk about relationship bitaw. So, at ko ikaw nga isa sa circle is kana mas ma-aware ka nga ni di ay then mas dali mo mature imo na huna, it is because napalibutan ka og mga friends nga mature sad nga open sad mo communicate sa kung unsa ang kanang mga boundaries and so on. So, next is, yeah, peers often shape what feels normal for adolescents. Lastly is cultural influences. So, mga tradition, beliefs, culture, religion, media norms, and societal expectations. Makashape dyan ni siya sa views, isa sa siya sa kanang ni-help nga ma-shape ang atong views sa love, gender roles, and sexuality. Na may ubang culture nga kanang gi-emphasize ang modesty and strict rules. Well, nasa uban nga kanang gi-encourage ang open communication, open discussion about kanang related topic about kaning feelings and relationship. So, yeah, nakalahi ang culture sa nakalahi nga mga lugar. And this kanang culture influence you as a person, especially ang imong views, love, gender, rules, and sexuality. So, cultural values helps define what is acceptable, expected, or forbidden regarding sexuality. So, all in all is that adolescents learn about sexuality from their surroundings. Their sexual attitudes are shaped by katong how parents talk about sexuality, katong attitude of parents towards sexuality, how they are raised, katong parenting style, what their friends say and do, katong peer relationship, and their cultural and societal environment. All these factors work together to influence how teens understand relationship, boundaries, and their own sexual identity. So that's all from my part. Thank you.